Welcome back inside Coleman Stadium, all set for kickoff, now just underway. St. Michael Albertville in the white kits with the blue, almost black numbers. It's a beautiful afternoon here at Coleman Stadium. A little bit different from the last time out. Cloudy for the first half of the evening affair, and then the clouds moved out at a beautiful ending, but right off the bat tonight, clear skies. Well, not quite clear skies, but the clouds was light and fluffy, wispy over the field. They're just underway, just over 30 seconds into the game. Edina in the home green kits. They'll be moving from right to left here in the first half as a kick is blocked off the flag of Izzy Engel. Edina look to set up in the attacking zone, pushing it down toward the near side. There's Ellen Norman. Norman bunches it ahead toward Deline. Deline puts it on goal, but it's held on to by Orham, the Knights goaltender.
My bad, I had to make a major adjustment there to work, so sorry for that first no camera movement.
A little less than a minute and a half into the first half. No score. Edina putting a shot in on Mariel Orham in the first minute of play. But Orham able to make the save on Maddie Deline. Deline, we talked about, leading the way with 5 goals for Edina in the early going. The Hornets set up for the free kick. As it's headed just wide of the goal, as Beckroff out front had an opportunity. Edina showing some good offensive poise early on in this one. We mentioned these two teams meeting back on August 29th in St. Michael, with the Hornets winning 2-0. Wesley McMiller ends up with the ball for Edina. Good defense shown by the Knights, as the Hornets will now have to reset back in their own zone with Dorothy Stotts. Hornets quickly advancing along the far side. Squeeze it through to Deline. Deline puts one wide of the net. Well, we talked about already, Edina showing some strong play in the St. Michael Albertville end of the field as they generate a corner opportunity. Izzy Engel will take it. Knights able to knock it down. Norman ends up putting the ball in on Orham. Orham cleanly scoops it up. Deline making a nice play, keeping that one away from Emma Strait of the Knights. So the Knights in the Edina attack zone for the first time. It was almost snuck through to Deline. Deline does end up with the ball. The Hornets trying to reassemble in their own zone. A good effort here to take this one away by Gabby Medor. Medor has this one knocked away by Eckroth. But the Knights come up with an early corner chance here. Pushed wide behind the net off the corner attempt. Bayless Flynn, we mentioned, getting the start in goal for Edina this evening. The Knights will be able to hold it in the Edina zone as Amanda Rokola trying to get it under control for the Knights. Again, Edina driven back deep in their own end. McMiller gets it over toward Norman.
Well, the Knights withstood the early barrage of Edina offensive pressure, and now the Knights starting to push the field back over to the Edina end a little bit. 34 minutes, 34 seconds to go in the first half. No score. Edina with a pair of shots on goal. Deline works her way through, puts one in on Orham, who picks it up. The Hornets will regain possession at midfield. Good play here by McMiller. McMiller gets it ahead to Reek. Reek centers it, but only white jerseys there, but then finding it is McMiller all alone, but Orham makes the save. Well, the Hornets already have 3 shots on goal here in the early going. 6.5 minutes into the first half. Norman trying to poke it ahead. The Knights will be able to break it through the center of the field to head toward Alexis Phillips. Phillips driving through. Oh, Phillips able to quickly flip the field back the other way. Nice work here by Reek. Reek working her way up the near side. Cut off by Phillips. Then coming over to help is Chloe Steinke for St. Michael Albertville. As Medor able to fight her way through a couple of green kit jerseys. Norman back on the Edina side of the field. Eckroth. From Melt on the far side. They get it into Engel along the far side. Norman back on the near side, unable to get it under control. With the quick throw in toward Deline. As Rokala was able to knock it away. Norman ahead for Reek. Good defense played by Tuliana Zerna for St. Michael Albertville. Deline was almost able to maintain the ball through the defender. A little over 9 minutes into the first half. So Norman works it to McMiller. Kelly Collins, my apologies. Zach Roth blowing it off toward the far side for Deline. Deline, though, has it taken away by Emma Strait. Hendrickson throws it into Deline. Back with Lily Hendrickson. throw into Engel. The Knights will be able to work it free down toward the near side. Slowing it down there is Rokola. Rokola trying to get it ahead for Phillips. McMiller ends up with it for Edina. Engel along the far side. Deline able to center it for McMiller, who puts it in on goal. Oh, Edina continuing the good offensive pressure. Now a little more than 10 minutes into this first half. Still no score. The Knights will quickly be able to work it into Edina territory, set up on the far side. Kind of been the nature of the game so far. Each team being fairly aggressive in the offensive zone, but Edina having far better chances in the offensive end than the Knights thus far in the game. Edina already with 4 shots on goal. The Knights were able to turn the tables for a couple minutes span, but then the Hornets pushing the play right back into the Knights' end. Trying to spring Medor. It's a little bit out of her reach. As Deline with that speed. Deline driving in. Deline still ends up with the ball as she was battling with a couple of white jerseys. You can see why Deline is such a top talent on this Edina Hornet squad with a play like that. As Reek gets it back toward Deline. Deline puts it on goal and just over the top of the net. Deline, who we talked about coming in, leading the way in goals on the team coming in. Certainly some stellar play out of the junior forward thus far in this match. Not quite 15 minutes in. Deline ends up with it again. Deline working her way in. Deline again, just over the top of the net. Oh, Edina continues to pepper the Knights in the offensive zone. And a couple of stellar chances for Maddie Deline in the last 45 seconds or so. The goaltender Orham has been busy so far for the Knights. The Knights will try to figure out how to push that pressure back into the Edina side of the field. About to hit the 14-minute mark of the first half. Norman in her own end. Push toward McMiller, out of her reach. Deline sneaks this one through. Norman off the throw. It's McMiller and Deline each almost able to take that one away, as we'll get a whistle with 25.5 minutes to go in the first half. No score, but a bounty of scoring chances for Edina in the early going. The Hornets able to work it back to the St. Michael Albertville side of the field. McMiller Bunches it ahead for Deline. Deline again able to fight through some defenders. It's knocked away from Zerna. It's loose in the goal mouth area. There's a hard foul committed here. Zach Roth able to keep this one away. It'll be a good opportunity for the Knights to get a little bit of the offensive zone time that they've been looking for in the early going. Try to knock this one down is Femright. Coming way up is Zoram to kick this one away from Reek. Reek was advancing on that loose ball fairly quickly. Reek able to work her way through. Reek with that hand save by Orham. Second chance is pushed wide. The Hornets keeping Mariel Orham busy here in this first half. Stotts catches up to it, sends it toward Hendrickson on the far side. The Knights able to generate a corner opportunity. Knights with their second such opportunity of the game. Edina got one in the very early first couple minutes of the game. We'll line it right back up in that far corner. It works its way free for McMiller, gets it toward Deline. Reek, as that will draw a foul and a free kick coming up for Edina. Head for McMiller. McMiller on the near side. As McMiller is pushed down. That drew a little bit of a response from the crowd as no whistle was blown. Eckroth, who scored the winning goal against Eden Prairie. That's the 19-minute mark of the first half. No score, but Edina peppering the goaltender Mariel Orham of St. Michael Albertville thus far. McMiller. Reek slipped and fell, otherwise might have been able to work that one around the defenders. Norman comes toward Deline. Deline trying to center it as it's punched up over the top of the net off one of the Knight defenders. So Edina generates their second corner opportunity of the first half. It's about to hit the midpoint. Engel. Hornets trying to keep it in the goal box. Norman able to slow it down. The Knights will push it ahead. McMiller was almost able to take that one away as well as Reek. For Frommelt along the near side. Femright can't outrun McMiller. Aaron Hamilton couldn't knock that one down for St. Michael Albertville. As Engel tried to speed her way in. It was cut off by Zerna just before the net. Edina generating a corner chance. Stoleen couldn't quite control it. Gets it back out to Norman.
Coming in for the Hornets, number 18, Gwen Hendrickson, and number 18, Abby Mannard.
So Abby Mannard and Gwen Hendrickson check in for Edina, their first substitution of the afternoon. They were just under 18 minutes to play in the first half. No score, but Edina has been all over the offensive side of the field. Collins tried to knock it down for Edina. McMiller. The first game for Edina in 9 days since the win over Eden Prairie. Mannard doing a good job. Able to keep the ball in the St. Michael Albertville end. McMiller now working with it. Engel off to Gwen Hendrickson on the far side. Flynn will have to play this one with her right leg, and she's able to boom it out of danger. They're trying to set up Olivia Peel. Hornets able to deflect it back out to the midfield line. Zerna off the throw. Frommelt gets it through the center. Trying to get it to Gwen Hendrickson. Mannard will have to reset back in the Edina end. Eckroth. Head toward McMiller. McMiller centers it, but nobody there. Sliding up is Collins. Lily Hendrickson over on the far side. As a corner chance comes up for Edina. A couple of Hornets nearly collided trying to knock that ball down as Knights quickly try to work it through. Hamilton's throw in is knocked down on the near side. Knights set up for the free kick along the near sideline. It almost came down in traffic. Edina back toward midfield. We come down toward the 28-minute mark of the first half. No score. The Knights have been able to keep it out of their own zone for the most time thus far in this first half. Hornets had a bevy of scoring opportunities. It's Hendrickson, Gwen Hendrickson, I should say. It's McMiller over to try to help out. And the Hornets will have a corner with 11 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the first half. Engel will set up for the corner opportunity. The Knights do a good job of working it through, racing to catch up to it, but not quite able to do so, is Olivia Peel. Deline. Deline trying to speed through the defenders. Pops free toward Gwen Hendrickson. But Rokola was able to poke it out of the goal box. We're under 10 minutes to play here in this first half. Eckroth. Mannard. It's Frommelt having to work it back. It's Peel. Medor was trying to drive it deeper into the Edina zone. Ends up back with McMiller. McMiller and Deline working together. McMiller will center it. As Hamilton comes away with it. Lily Hendrickson plays it up toward the far side. Peel, unable to get it through, ends up with it back. We come down to 8 minutes remaining in the first half. We pass the 32-minute mark of the opening half as the Knights have tightened up on the defensive side of things. As Frommelt or Edina briefly with it. And Edina had a lot of scoring chances in the first 20 minutes. Engel trying to bend it in, but it's grabbed out of the air by Orem, the goaltender. We talked about in the open, still 4 more home matches for Edina on the girls' side coming up this season. Next up will be Minnetonka. That's 4 days from now. The Knights will quickly try to work it into the Edina side of the field as Hamilton was trying to center it. It's Engel. We come down towards 6 minutes to play in the first half. It's Medor. It's McMiller with a good job to take this ball away. As the Hornets will quickly rush upfield. Engel. Oh, what a nice move by Deline. The Hornets pushing for the go-ahead goal before halftime, down to 5 minutes, 20 seconds. Hendrickson. Try to get it toward McMiller. Diana quickly getting it back in. Hendrickson drops it to Deline. Now under 4 minutes to play here in the first half. Edina has had a significant advantage in the on-field play in the first half, but we remain no score. Hendrickson to Fromelt. McMiller puts it in on goal. Engel overran it a little bit. He's trying to get that head of steam. Toward Deline. Deline able to keep the ball with her. McMiller racing after it, able to grab it in front of Hamilton. Mador. Deline almost able to worm that one between the two defenders. Zerna and Caitlin Braun. Gwen Hendrickson toward Fromelt. It's Deline. Now down to a minute 43 left in the opening half. Edina with a late corner chance. The ball is still loose on the side of the net. Edina doing a good job of creating some traffic in front of the net. I said last week, they call it the beautiful game, but the dirty goals count just the same. Now under a minute remaining in the first half. The Knights looking to set up for the last chance here in the first half as a couple of players collide. Hamilton. Now under 30 seconds left in the first half. We have the Hornets coming up for you at halftime as they have lined up behind the Edina bench. 10 seconds left in the half. As we come to the end of the first half, Edina with a bunch of really good scoring chances. But thus far, we remain scoreless. Edina and St. Michael Albertville. We'll be back in 10 minutes for your second half. Enjoy the Hornets.
Okay, I've got you.
For your halftime entertainment, we have the 2020 Varsity Hornets. They're coached by Jesse Carlson and Kelsey George. Your captains are Ellie Bishop, Maddie Glero, Kira Hudeman, and Morgan McClanahan.
no. 2003, Jeff Northrup, Chris Davis, and myself are working on each other's basements at each other's house, just trying to build some sweat equity, and realized, boy, we work really well together. We should start a business. Chris and Jeff were in this IT recruiting business. They said, hey, the business we're in is pretty cool. We can do pretty well at it, and we think there's an opportunity to do it better. And I said, I'm in. We find a little spot in the corner of my basement where we can set up a computer, set up shop. We ended up moving into an office, 5200 Wilson Road, Suite 301 in Edina. And the three of us were able to all be in one spot, which was a magnificent day. From there, we started hiring salespeople, recruiters, consultants, and started growing the business. We felt like we could provide more value if we transitioned into more of what the people of the world call consulting company, more true professional consulting. So we started to take the next steps in doing that, going down the path of not just taking an order, but helping clients really through their struggles with technology. At the end of the day, we're going to do what we think is right. And so that's kind of the base for how we built the consulting company was, let's have the smartest people that have really done real work, and let's always be honest with our client. As we transitioned into the consulting world, we've really put a focus on being a trusted advisor. What are you trying to accomplish from a business perspective? Let us take a look at that. Let's look under the hood and see what you're trying to accomplish. We'll come back to you with our thoughts and ideas of how to accomplish that and what kind of a team you'd need from us to make that happen. So in my mind, that's the truest form of consulting. What are you trying to accomplish as a business? Let us look at it and let us help you make it happen.
just underway here in the second half here at Coleman Stadium. Edina and St. Michael Albertville, no score. And Edina having a lot of really good scoring opportunities in that first half. Along with executive producer, director, cameraman Pete Wagner, I'm Patrick Lilia, live from the Edina Community Center. Two team meeting back on August 29th. With Edina winning that game 2-0. St. Michael Albertville now going from left to right. Edina now right to left. Trying to spring Reek along the near side as the Knights able to cut that off.
Shadows are here earlier today than they were last week. Amazing how much difference we make.
Zekroff sends this one wide of the net. Pete was talking about the shadows arriving a lot earlier this week. Of course, a little difference. The sun has been with us the entire match. Last week it took a good chunk of the game for the sun to come out. The Twin Cities works their way out of the early fall weather snap. Game time temperatures today in the mid to upper 50s. The golden won't call it a golden opportunity for the Hornets, but another scoring chance nonetheless as it ricochets off the football uprights and gets stuck in the back of the net. From Melt. Streaking through, drops it down toward Norman. A little less than 3 minutes into the second half. No score. That's Engel trying to center it. Norman for Eckroth. As Doline puts it on goal. Doline, who had a couple of good opportunities in that first half, sent them just over the top of the net. That time the goaltender Orham able to make the stop. It's Hendrickson. Zaya Esterberg calls for the foul. Running into the back of Eckroth. Head toward Doline. Now the Knights will come up with the free kick opportunity. The Knights have had a couple of, we'll call them grade B chances of their own. As they're kind of being, I guess you could call it selectively aggressive with the way that they've attacked the Edina net thus far in the game, especially over that first half. Lily Hendrickson. As Peel working her way in. Peel, though, pushes this one just a little bit out, too far ahead of Bridget Johnson. Dolene. They put a little bit too much mustard on it. Reek. Head toward Dolene. Dolene able to fight her way through. Six and a half minutes into the second half. Hendrickson able to keep it in play. Reek able to hold on to the ball. Reek puts it in on Orem. The Hornets beginning the second half much like they begin the first as they take aim at the St. Michael Albertville net. The lights turned on here at Coleman Stadium. Zekroth able to possess it at the midline. Toward McMiller. McMiller doing a good job of holding on to the ball. McMiller trying to set up Dolene. Dolene! Again, another good opportunity. It's Emma Strait. Is Norman able to work it ahead for Eckroth? And we had a foul and a free kick coming up. Engel with the wall right in front of her. This Engel puts it in, and another excellent save by Mariel Orem. The Knights quickly were able to work it through as Peel was almost able to drive this one toward the net. Dolene quickly back. Dolene toward McMiller. McMiller centers it off the foot of Engel. And a corner chance coming up for Edina. Edina trying to push the pace a little bit. Off the throw in, my apologies. It's Fromelt rather, my apologies again. Zach Roth able to possess. McMiller. We'll get a whistle and a hard foul on Ella Kakmerzinski. So you get the 11-minute mark of the second half. Flynn able to grab that one off the long free kick. Reek, but a little bit too much on this one as it comes down into the near corner and unable to be saved. Dolene will end up back with it. Dolene gets it through the defense and puts it home. Maddie Dolene, who has had so many golden opportunities today, is finally able to make one count. 1-0 Edina. That comes in the 53rd minute. Talked about Dolene leading the team in goals. Gets the Hornets on top, 1-0. Another excellent effort for the junior forward. Called her name so many times on this telecast already. Well, the Knights now trailing will look to answer. And we talked about Dolene a lot last week in our broadcast against Eden Prairie. That's Engel. Engel working her way through. Engel unable to finish, but it comes back to Dolene, who does! As Edina makes it a 2-goal advantage. Felt it might have only been a matter of time before the Hornets, with all their scoring opportunities,
Scoring the second goal for Edina, number 5, Maddie Dolene. Working on goal number 1.
though Dolene, who had scored twice in a matter of a minute and a half. Knights needing a quick answer as Bayless collides with one of the Knights attackers. So Dolene in the 53rd, and then Dolene again in the 54th minute. There's an important corner opportunity for the Knights. The Hornets quickly work it out. Maddie Doline again working her way through the center. Doline through the defenders. Doline just sends it over the net. Wouldn't that have been something? It would have been a hat trick in 3 minutes of game time. This Engel gets it toward Doline. You certainly feel that the pace and momentum all with the Hornets right now. As Emma Strait punches it ahead. Fromelt. Though Edina, you felt with all the scoring opportunities that they had in the first half and then here in the second half, just kind of out-hustling the Knights right now at this point in the game. It's Norman along the far side. Kelly Collins, Tia Benson, and Ashley Turk all check in for Edina. They come down to 23.5 minutes to play. Lily Hendrickson, we're toward Benson on the near side. Lily Hendrickson. It's Engel. Through toward Doline. Benson. It's almost wound up for a shot. Comes back to Doline. Doline, who scored 2 goals in 2 minutes and nearly added a third a minute after that. The difference right now. So the Hornets looking to improve to 4-0 overall on the regular season. To grab a 2-0 lead in the middle stages of the second half. Maddie Doline scoring in the 53rd and 54th minutes. The Knights desperately in need to cash one in shortly. Bayless able to poke this one out of danger. Bayless Flynn, the goalkeeper. Flynn hasn't been tested a whole lot as of yet. Flynn sends this one toward midfield. Deline putting on a nice move. Deline ahead for Reek. It's Hendrickson off the throw. Back to Collins. It's a nice snag out of the air on the long shot. It's a shot like that won the game for Edina last time out against Eden Prairie. The game coming down to the 76th minute. We're past the midpoint here of the second half tonight. Edina 2 and St. Michael Albertville nothing. Maddie Deline scoring twice in the second half, a minute apart. Angle. Collins. It's Hendrickson. Back over to Collins. Second half, even more so dominated by the Hornets than the first one was. Perhaps thinking about that at this point in the game. The way that the second half is played out. Oh, maybe the Hornets will look to add one more and perhaps put this game firmly in their control. They lead 2-0. Norman sets up for the free kick. As we enter the 66th minute of play. Edina leading at 2-0. Both Hornet goals coming in the second half, a minute apart, courtesy of Maddie Deline. As we mentioned, our next Edina girls soccer broadcast on September 16th against Hopkins. We'll play at Minnetonka on the 14th. Deline. This Engel couldn't come up with it either. As Esterberg quickly back the other way for the Knights. Coming up next, about a half hour following the conclusion of this game, the Edina boys take on St. Michael Albertville as well. We'll have the live broadcast for you. The Hornets able to take the throw from the Knights quickly back into the St. Michael Albertville end. The Edina will look to make some substitutions. We come down toward 14 minutes remaining in the second half. Edina leading it 2-0 on a pair of goals by Maddie Dolene a minute apart here in the second half. As Emma Durr going to get it ahead for the Knights. Happy that you have joined us on this early fall evening, along with cameraman, executive producer, director Pete Wagner. I'm Patrick Lilia, pleased to be with you from Coleman Stadium in Edina. The Hornets have a 2-0 lead as we enter the 68th minute of play. Alexis Phillips as Flynn scoops it up off the ground. "12 minutes remaining in regulation as McMiller off the throw. Now, as we mentioned, the boys will take on St. Michael Albertville about a half hour following the conclusion of our action here. So stay with us. The Edina leading 2-0 as we approach the 29-minute mark of the second half. Benson toward McMiller. Benson back with it. The Knights will make some late substitutions as well. The Knights can't really afford to be choosy at this point about trying to get the ball down the field. Doline on the far side. It's Hendrickson. Lacey Hauser sneaks this one through toward Collins. Zakharoff, as well as Emily Kavanaugh and Abby Jordan in for the Hornets.
Coming in for them, number 2, Emily Kavanaugh. Number 9, Abby Jordan. And number 17, Zakharoff.
Edina leading 2-0, a pair of goals a minute apart in the second half for Maddie Doline. Doline, who just missed a third goal about a minute following the 2-goal outburst. She adds a pair to her team lead. We come down to 8 minutes remaining in the game. Zakharoff. Late corner chance for Edina. Come down towards 7 minutes to play. As previously mentioned, Edina's next game will be at Minnetonka. That'll be on Monday night. And then on Wednesday, back home against Hopkins. We'll have all the home games for Edina live in action, so our next telecast will be 6 days from now, next Wednesday night against Hopkins. At a 5 o'clock start. The Knights able to play it back into the Edina end. Peel. Hamilton on the near side. Hamilton puts it on Flynn. 5.5 minutes remaining in the game. As Peel will race to catch up to this one first. Peel, as Flynn slides in there to steal it away. Olivia Peel able to get behind the defenders, but Bayless Flynn with some good aggressive play. Never let the scoring chance develop. Peel. Again, this one had a little more of a bend to it, but Flynn again able to come up with the save. Chloe Steinke as it knocked away from her. She was trying to advance on the goal. Eckroth. So whistle blows. One of the Knights ends up on the turf. Edina leading at 2-0 as we approach 3 minutes to replay. Now down to 2.5 minutes. The Hornets, who really dominated this game right out of the gate. Well, they didn't put anything in the net until after halftime. Eckroth. Maddie Deline scored a pair of goals 1 minute apart. As Peel couldn't quite catch up to that one in time as Flynn picked it up. Eckroth will speed along the far side. They're under a minute now to play. The Knights will try for one last push. 30 seconds left in the game. come down to 10 seconds. As the Hornets, strong play from start to finish as they defeat St. Michael Albertville by a score of 2-0. Maddie Dolene with a pair of goals in the second half, a minute apart, and Edina improves to 4-0 on the regular season. Now for Pete, this has been Patrick here at Coleman Stadium. Next Edina girls broadcast on the 16th against Hopkins. That's next Wednesday, I believe. Stayed with us, though, the boys against St. Michael Albertville coming up about a half hour or so from now. So until then, stay with us. Don't get too far from your device.